I tell you what, ladies and gents, I really enjoyed that game from Manchester United. 2-0 winners over Rangers, and it was Leny Yoro's debut. And I tell you what, he looks supremely confident, really measured, really composed. And bear in mind, less than 96 hours ago, he wasn't even a Manchester United player and had no chance of signing. What a week it's been for him. I'll speak about his performance. I'll speak about Ahmad and his performance. Probably our best player in that first half. Toby Collyer, I think, really stood out. Jadon Sancho played well. Mason Mount did good. Just overall, I think that was a good team performance. First half, lots of good football. Lots of good measured football from United. And in that second half, we made 10 changes. We scored a second goal. A ridiculous finish, by the way, from Joe Hugill. But let's be honest. Leny Yoro was who we were watching that game for. And given the week that he has had, as I said, it was on Tuesday morning when David Ornstein dropped the bomb that he was on his way to... No, Wednesday morning, in fact. Wednesday morning, and it's Saturday afternoon. Leny Yoro was so good in that game. We were all watching it, and we knew what we were expecting or hoping for. And we saw it all, all right? First half, he obviously went off at halftime. The whole team changed, apart from Onana. It was just everything he was doing. He looked smooth. Looked like it wasn't his first game, I suppose. And I'm going to be doing a full analysis of his debut. Make sure you check that out on the channel tomorrow. But one thing that's definitely going to stand out is that diagonal that he did. Received the ball and just an absolute beauty of a pass over to the left wing, over to Sam Murray. It was glorious from Leny Yoro. But if it wasn't just that, he was winning the duels. He was bringing the ball forward, progressive carries. There was a really good tackle he made as well. As I said, all the spotlight was on Leny Yoro. And for him to not only come into that, I didn't think that I didn't know whether he'd get any minutes today. But he started the game and was extremely good. If that's the start, I can't wait to see what comes next. And maybe what comes when he's got a certain Lisandro Martinez alongside him and a certain Diogo Dalot at right back and a certain Luke Shaw at left back. Really, really promising game from him. But if it was promising from him, then, I don't know what to call that from Ahmad. But that, for me, from Ahmad, was a performance from a player who is absolutely determined to make that right wing position his this season. Right? That goal. The goal itself was fantastic. Yoro with the pass to Mount. Lovely move from Mount. Inside from Ahmad. It was like a Saka finish. Cutting inside, left foot, curled it into the bottom corner. Perfect position, perfect technique. And just Ahmad in that game, I'm not sure if it looked like he was stronger. It looked like he could hold off the Rangers defender. He was running in behind. His decision-making was very good. And the finish there was absolutely top class. Now, I honestly don't see where Anthony fits into this squad anymore. I'll speak about Jadon Sancho next. You've got Sancho and Rashford, who I think will be the left-wing competitors this season. I think you've got Garnacho and Ahmad on that right-hand side. I just don't see where Anthony fits in. Technically, Ahmad is light years ahead of him. And physically, he's clearly put on some bulk. And last season, he had to fight through all the injuries and fight through everything. He had that moment in the FA Cup that will go down in United. Well, we'll always remember that goal that he scored against Liverpool. And he proved himself. And this pre-season and this season coming here, I hope is Ahmad's proper breakout season at Man United. Bear in mind, he's been here for like 3 or so years. He's 22 now. Now is his time. Fantastic performance of him, and I think he'll be proud of it. And somebody who I want to speak about is Toby Collyer. Now, I have already done a video, was it last week or the week before, on sort of the 6 academy players I think that could have a breakout season. And he's one of them. Because I think from the pathway perspective, there is a clear position in this squad we need for somebody who's very good defensively out of possession in midfield. And I thought that was what he was good at in that first half. Very good at covering the space. Physically, good on the ball. Actually, I think Casemiro had a much better game than he had against Rosenborg. But honestly, if I'm going to choose which central midfielder had a more impressive game, I'm going to choose Collyer ahead of Casemiro. I think he's got a real opportunity to establish himself as a first-team squad member this season. Now, whether that turned into him being a first-team starter would depend on how that season goes. But I can really see a clear pathway for Collyer. I think it could be proud of that performance. I think Erik ten Hag will be happy with that performance. And if we can bring through a young midfielder into the midfield, That's going to be crucial. We got Kobe Mainu last year. Could we get Collyer this year? Not on the same level, but I think there's a position for him in that squad. Jadon Sancho played on the left-hand side, starting on the left, kind of drifted through the middle, drifted on the right-hand side. He looked okay. If I'm going to choose who played better between Amad and Sancho, I'm going to say Amad. But Sancho, man, he has got so much to prove to me. He's got nothing to prove to me, but in my opinion, which is formed of Sancho, I need a lot of convincing that he deserves this opportunity. Show me. He's going to have to really pull out the Dortmund version of Sancho in this United shirt straight from the get-go, because we've got options now. It won't just be play players for the sake of it. It'll be playing players because you deserve that opportunity. Now, Erik ten Hag and him have shaken hands, and let's move forward. Sancho's going to have to turn in the sorts of eye-catching performances there that Amad put in. But I thought Sancho was okay today. It wasn't a bad performance for him, but I need to stretch the imagination. I actually thought Mason Mount played quite well as well. Thought he linked up the play really well. He looked fit. He looked sharp. I mean, the biggest problem in Mount last season was injuries, right? His fitness. He didn't have it. Ridiculous amount of injury problems. Fingers crossed doesn't come back, all that. I think Mason, would it be? It's not about a breakthrough season. It's like you may as well write off last season. This is basically Mason Mount's first season at the club. And I think in the absence of Bruno, he played in that sort of role. He's going to have to play second fiddle to, of course, Bruno when he comes back. But I thought he played well. Second half, the whole team changed. That finish from Joe Hugel, it was a nice passing move from United. Oyedele got the ball, nice through ball to him, and Hugel just put his foot through the ball. Best finishes in the world are the finishes that go in off the bar. And that was just a great finish from Joe Hugel. And overall, I think Erik ten Hag will be really happy with that performance from Manchester United. I think the way that Leny Yoro played, he can look at him and go, yeah, man, that's what I want to see straight away. And as I said, for him to have played as confidently as that when only on Wednesday morning was he flying into Manchester, and it's Saturday and he's only trained once with a club, it's going to take time for him to settle. But he looked composed. He was geeing up the players around him. He was always making himself available for that pass. Two players that stood out to me the most were Yoro and Amad, for sure. But I think special mention goes to Collyer. I think Sancho did well. I just think overall, that was a pretty impressive performance from United. Much, much better than Rosenborg. And now we've got a week until our actual pre-season starts. It's going to be Arsenal and the US tour. Yoro's going to be there. Xerxes going to be there. Is Ugarte going to be there? I don't know. Is De Ligt going to be there? I don't know. But that was a significantly better performance. And Yoro, I'm so happy he's a United player.